Well, here we are. It is Tuesday, October the 13th. Welcome to Up to the Minute. Glad to have you with us this morning. Have you been outside yet? If you haven't, you're in for a treat. It's beautiful out there. We got a bit of a cool front overnight. Made all the difference. Yesterday was 94. They say today could get up to 87, but it feels great right now. I want to welcome Frank Cooper with us. He was on vacation. I took a day off. We missed each other. Boy, we got a lot to talk about, Frank.
Got a lot to catch up on, man. A lot of firings, a lot of winning, a lot of COVID athletic testing. I can't wait to talk about it. But guys, ladies and gents, please subscribe to the show. We're on YouTube. Hit the notification bell. We're on Snapchat, Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. So check out our show and grow the show, guys.
Thanks, Frank. Stand by. We'll be back with you in a little while. But, over the summer, I had a chance to work with some of our students and our faculty and staff on these ideas pitch competition. If you ever seen the TV show Shark Tank, well, we do our own version here at HCC. We did one over the summer, and I believe it was last month, we did a version with the University of St. Thomas. And a number of our students and UST students competed in the pitch competition. They got to learn a lot, and the winners got a $1,000 scholarship. We're going to talk to a couple of the winners this morning and welcome them to the show. We've got Davis Alford. He's an HCC student. And Davis, you were the second place winner in the bold pitch competition. Welcome to the show.
Hey, I'm happy to be here, you guys. Good morning, everyone.
Well, thanks for being here, Davis. We're going to get to you in a little while, so stand by if you would. And also, Kanisha Ffriend, she also competed in the HCC version and the one last month with University of St. Thomas. And you are the first place winner. Kanisha, congratulations.
Thank you so much. Happy to be here.
Well, we're going to talk with you both more in a little while because you both got some pretty unique ideas and products that you were pitching on. So we're going to hear about yours, Kanisha, and also Davis as well. But we had some faculty behind the scenes who were helping on the committee and also judges in the competition. Our own Ravi Brahmbhatt, the Director of Student Innovation and Entrepreneurship at HCC, joins us as well. Good morning, Ravi.
Good morning, Todd. Good morning, Frank. Good morning, everybody. Glad to be here.
Glad to have you with us. And Dr. Patrick Woock, who is with the University of St. Thomas. He's the director of the McNair Center for Entrepreneurship and Free Enterprise. Welcome to the show, Dr. Woock.
Good morning, Todd. Thank you very much for having me, and good morning, everyone.
Now, folks may have not seen the competition themselves. And Doctor, I'm going to ask you to kind of give us an idea, a thumbnail sketch of what the competition was about and the students that were involved.
Okay. Well, that's a very good question, Todd. Thank you for asking. You know, our main focus over at the McNair Center is to really build awareness in not just at the University of St. Thomas, but in the community and with partners just like University Community College of Houston, or Houston Community College, excuse me. And this Bold Ideas competition is a prime example of how we do that and building that awareness. And really one of the things that I'm very excited about every year that we do this competition is we have such great entrepreneurs that come out, like Kanisha, like Davis, like other ones that are not here today. And that type of awareness, that type of development is very exciting to see, here in Houston, with all the challenges that are going on, to see young minds being able to come out in these competitions, excel. And we're very happy to give them some money today, or give them money for their winning to help seed their future ventures and their future opportunities. So we're very happy and very proud of our events and our relationship with HCC.
And for folks who may not be familiar with the McNair Center, tell us a bit about that and your mission.
Well, that's a very good question. And thank you again, Todd. Our mission is really, as I said earlier on, building awareness. And we do it through a lot of different things. A good example is the Bold Ideas competition, but we also have our own community at the University of St. Thomas. We also have our own events that we put on. And we inspire our students really to kind of explore, to kind of develop their own pathway, and especially we encourage those people who maybe they're very career driven, like yourself, Todd, or like Ravi, and even like how I am today, that they can do entrepreneurship as a side hustle. And for those people who are very interested or very excited about entrepreneurship, like Davis and Kanisha, we hope to encourage them to experiment, to learn while they're in college and build their companies while they're still young and vibrant. So we hope to do these two things really at University of St. Thomas And we hope to be a part of that conduit in creating that happen. Thank you.
I want to bring in your partner on this, Ravi Brahmbhatt, who is with HCC. And Ravi, you're very familiar with entrepreneurship because you've been doing these competitions for a while. Tell us a bit about the one you had over the summer and the one we had most recently with our partner, the University of St. Thomas.
Thanks, Todd. So over the summer, and appreciate all the support that we get from you and HCCTV for these. So over the summer, we had the Shark Tank Ideas Pitch Competition with our partners, internal HCC Speech and Communications Department. And then, this competition with St. Thomas, both of these competitions were originally planned in the spring, early on.
Yeah.
Due to COVID, we pivoted, we had to go completely virtual, and we ended up having back-to-back. So one internal partner in the summer, and then right at the beginning of August, September, we had with St. Thomas.
Well, I was going to ask you about that pivot because you usually have these in person. COVID obviously affected all of our operations, and you guys had to make this virtual. So you turned it more or less into a virtual, I want to say television program, because it more or less was like one.
Yeah, and thanks to your help, and thanks to all the wonderful YouTube channels and all the guides available to us to learn quickly how to edit these videos, to kind of put it together and put on a show, and safely do so. Keeping our students safe at home and pitching. So it worked out, and to be honest, I think we're going to do more of these.
Yeah, it worked out very well. I was very impressed how well it went as far as the production, and we look forward to seeing more of these in the future. Dr. Woock, I want to get an answer from you because, here at HCC, we've been doing everything online virtually with instruction, and we've just brought our students back in for lab-based classes this past week. Tell us what's going on at the University of St. Thomas and how you guys have been dealing with COVID and pivoting your operations.
Todd, that's an excellent question. And I think we're in the same place, which HCC is in. We're looking at all the potential options that we can do. And we recently launched the high flex option where we're actually going back to the classroom now, Todd. So I'm actually having physical classrooms, but at the same time, we have such a very, we've I would say upgraded our technology very significantly in our classrooms. So we're having at least half my students still come in on a virtual basis and the half within the classroom. And it's almost seamless. So I'm very impressed with how we've adapted. And I think it's, being an old dog, I've had to learn a lot of different new ways of kind of presenting in the classroom. And entrepreneurship is one of those things that's done very well face-to-face. But I think entrepreneurship and the ability, like we're seeing with the bold ideas and the virtual competitions we have, are opening up new ways for us to develop entrepreneurship, not just in the classroom, but also in this virtual area. So I think even COVID has been quite challenging. I think it's opened up some doors for us to do new things. And that's what's very interesting.
Yeah, I think we're all learning a new way of doing things, and we had to pivot the operations of the way we do things, and also with this competition. I want to talk to some of the winners of the competition. I'm going to bring in Kanisha Ffriend. And Kanisha, before I get to the product that you were promoting, I want to ask you, what was it like when you heard that? I know you've done two of these competitions. You did the HCC one and the one with University of St. Thomas. What was it like when you heard you wouldn't be able to present in person and you had to do everything online?
Honestly, I was very excited. So in person, I feel like I probably would have noticed a lot of other things happening in the room.
Yeah.
That I would have gotten distracted. And so and focusing on everyone else's facial expressions and such, because you see everything at the same time. Whereas when you're presenting online, the only view you have is what you are presenting. So you tune out that noise easier. And I think that's the point of entrepreneurship, is to tune out the noise. And so I was very excited to have it be virtual.
And you won $5,000 was the prize. and how are you going to be able to use that money? What do you plan on doing with it? Is it going to go for your schooling? Are you going to seed your business? How is it going to work?
So I decided that the best bet would be to go ahead full-fledged and seed my business because I really believe in it. It can also fund my education at the same time. And so most of the funds are going towards marketing and product development.
Here's what I love about this competition, and you're a great story because I hope you don't mind. I'll let people know that in the HCC competition, you did not win, but then you went ahead and competed again and you won first place. You know, I mean, that really shows that you were able to learn, because I know you changed the name of your product. Maybe you can tell us about that change of name and what you learned from the first competition, and tell folks exactly what your product is, because it's very unique.
So the first time I entered the competition, the one that was in July with just HCC, I learned after hearing from other contestants is that my idea was very broad. In a sense, I wasn't really pitching a product. I was pitching a service. And so with the service, it's hard for people to grab onto it and really connect with it, because people want to connect with either a person or they want to connect with a product. And so after speaking with Ravi for this competition that was going to be with UST, I decided, okay, let's start off slow. I know that I'm very excited. There's so many ideas that I have, but let's focus on the first step, right? And so the product that I have is for postpartum recovery, which is it's just for gel that you put on padsicles. And so as a doula, I see a lot of new moms getting excited to do DIY projects. And one of these projects would be a padsicle, which is where you are soothing the perineum tissue after delivery. So as my job as a doula, which is the service of HeirBloom, is I make their lives easier. And with COVID-19, the issue was I had to separate myself, socially distance myself from my clients. So how can I still be available to them and provide the service to them without being in front of them? And that would be to develop a product that already has this there, that takes the complication out of it, takes the DIY part out of it, and makes it easier to just 1, 2, 3 use.
Well, Kanisha, for folks who are interested in your product, we're going to put your website address in the social media post for the show. So make sure you check out our product. Very unique and interesting. Looking forward to seeing your product on Amazon soon, okay?
Thank you.
Another person I'm looking forward to seeing his product on Amazon is Davis. And Davis, your product isn't unique, but the way you go about it is very unique. Tell us about your product itself, and the fact that it's mainly you're using natural products to create it.
Yeah, you're right. So I'm the co-founder of William Michelle Candles, an all-natural soy wax candle company. And originally, our idea was to eliminate a lot of the harmful chemicals that mass-produced candle companies use. It's kind of taking advantage of the new trend of going towards organic products. I feel like the entire retail industry, from clothing to food, we're trying to get a little bit more natural. So yeah, we just want to take advantage of that. COVID has been honestly a gift and a curse, because it allowed me to put a lot of attention towards my online presence. But selling a product, you really want to be face to face with consumers so you can kind of get a reaction, like Kanisha said. So,
well, Davis, let me ask you this. Your product, is it available just on your website? Are you looking to expand it? And are you going to use your winnings to seed your business or for your education?
Oh, I'm definitely going to use my winnings to seed the business. I can always invest in inventory and in, I guess, getting a better profit margin, because I can buy wholesale at lower prices. So I'm definitely going to use it to seed my company.
Let me ask you both this. I'm gonna go back to Kanisha. I want to. Dr. Woock was saying something earlier about entrepreneurs as students could use this as possibly a side hustle, a second job. Kanisha, I know you have a primary job, but is this something you're doing on the side? And do you eventually want to move to this full time?
Yes, currently this is something I'm doing on the side, but I'm trying to pivot from teaching seventh grade and moving over into nursing. And so I found that I absolutely love being around the whole growth and development of both the mother and the child. And at first, I knew this when I was in college, and we did a lot of community service for teen mothers who were also homeless. And I said, okay, well, maybe this means I belong in education. So I thought that was a sign. Then as I'm in education and I'm still, partnering with teen homeless centers and then also being around mothers after postpartum care, I decided, okay, the more I invested into this part of my life, the happier that I was. Yeah. And so being able to fund the business is also funding this idea, like it's possible. You can go ahead and pivot towards this.
And Davis, I want to ask you the same thing. Is this currently a second job to you, a side hustle, or is it your primary job?
I wouldn't call it a side hustle because it's more legitimate than that. I'm incorporated. I copyrighted the name of the candle company, but at the moment it is part-time. I do have a full-time job in oil and gas. I mean, we're in Houston, and but like Kanisha said, the funding kind of gives me the opportunity to lean a little bit more towards it. Going from, let's say, about a 60-40 split. Eventually, I would like to do it full-time, but right now I'm probably at a 60-40 split, full-time job in candles.
Davis, if someone, a student or maybe a faculty or staff member of HCC is watching this and has an idea and is thinking of becoming an entrepreneur, real quickly, what advice would you give them?
I would give them the advice to research as much as possible about the topic. You want to know who's the dominant players in that industry, and you don't want to exactly mimic them, but you want to kind of go in that direction. Sure. But you want to differentiate yourself. So I just would say research everything you can find regarding the subject.
And Kanisha, I'll ask you the same question. What advice would you have for budding entrepreneurs and that you would give to them?
The very first lesson that I learned was talk about your idea early and often. So as an entrepreneur, you get this idea that, no, you shouldn't tell anyone your idea because they're going to steal it. And the reality is there's so much that goes into copying an idea. And no one's going to do it the same way like that you do it. And at the same breath, how you do it is really what makes the business. Yeah. It's not just what you're doing. And so when you talk about it early, you can get reactions from other people because maybe something that you thought was excellent, they're going to add on to that idea and make it even better. When you talk about it often as well, you may gain a team that you thought you were going to do an individual business, but now you have a team that's dedicated to your idea as well.
Kanisha and Davis, I appreciate you both being here on the show. And as I mentioned, we're going to put links to both of your products in the social media posts. So we encourage everyone to check them out. Thank you both for being here and congratulations on winning the competition. And we're going to go back to Dr. Woock and Ravi real quickly to both of you. And I'll start with you, Ravi. If you got a bit of advice for one of our students who maybe wants to get involved with your program, what would you tell them?
Todd, just get engaged. I mean, simple. If you're even remotely interested in small business, entrepreneurship, or you just want to learn a new skill, engage with our programs. Our competitions have tremendous opportunities for networking and learning new skills. So just engage, reach out to us.
And they can go on our website to find you guys. You can go and Google on the website Entrepreneurship, and we'll also include that link as well. Dr. Woock, we want to thank you for joining us. And do you have a bit of advice for students who may be looking to be an entrepreneur one day?
What I would say, Todd, is the most important thing is, and I think Ravi hit on this, is you got to get engaged. You have to get out there, right? I think we're surrounded by information. We're surrounded by so many things, opportunities, as you know, in this day and age. And I think it's overwhelming sometimes. But I think all of us know that are here today, and when you look at Kanisha and look at Davis, I mean, they went out and they put their neck out and they tried, right? And sometimes they lost, but sometimes they won.
Yeah.
Right? And you got to try. In order to win, you got to try. And that's one thing that we encourage people is to go out and try. So try, try, try. You never know what's going to happen.
Dr. Woock, we appreciate you joining us and shedding more light on the Bold Ideas Pitch Competition. We look forward to working with you again in the future.
Thank you very much, Todd. My pleasure.
Thank you all for joining us on the show. I am going to move on to our HCC news and information. We've got Frank Cooper, who is joining us now from his home studio. Good morning again, Frank.
Good morning, Todd. Good to see you, man. It's been too long, man.
It has. You had a little bit of a vacation. I took a day off, but how was your vacation? Was it good?
It was good. It was good. I got my jacuzzi fixed in my backyard, so I did a little bit of jacuzzi chilling and got some workouts in. Slept in. It was good. It was a nice little staycation.
Staycation. There you go. Well, Frank, I want to talk a little bit of sports. Let's save some time at the end of the show, but let's go through some HCC news and announcement for folks who are here. There's a filmmaking series that HCC has going on. It's called Crowdfunding Your Film. HCC's Visual and Performing Arts Center of Excellence continues to share its free virtual workshops with Professor Jenny Waldo, who has crowdfunded various shorts and feature films over the years. That's happening tomorrow, Wednesday, October 14th from noon to 2 p.m. You are required to register. We'll put the email address in the post for the show. Very important subject, Frank. We discussed this while you were on vacation, but mental health awareness. We're having a discussion on that, and it's free to the public.
Absolutely. So HCC Northwest Counseling Office is offering a virtual presentation on depression and bipolar disorder. That is also tomorrow, Wednesday, October 14th at 2 p.m. It's free, open to the public. Check your post for the link to register or at We Are HCC.
That's right. And Day of the Dead. Yeah, that's coming up. Student Life is celebrating Day of the Dead. You can join artist Laura Cano to learn the history and traditions of this Mexican celebration. She'll also be showing how to build a traditional ofrenda or altar. Check the Student Life site for more information. That's happening today at 1 p.m., Tuesday, October 13th. And we've got some virtual coffee breaks coming up, Frank. One of them is today as well, after the show.
Absolutely. In roughly 30 minutes, Annette Hearn, Enterprise System Administrative Office, she'll be on the show today. And then also Thursday, October 15th, Capri Thomas, who's Director of Veterans Affairs, and Luis Polanco de Leon, Coordinator of Veterans Affairs, will also be on, talking about social distancing, connecting with co-workers, how difficult that can be during a time like this. So join Janet May, who's the HR officer for our HCC, and more guests to continue about adapting to remote to work. Yeah,
and Frank, I don't know if you've heard, but I heard at the end of this month, Janet's going to have a couple of special guests on. So we'll have more on that, but just want to give you a heads up. I believe it's October the 29th. So we'll keep you up to date with that. Okay. Breast cancer awareness and information sessions being held by Student Life. The Office of Student Life will host guest speaker Cheryl Reese to discuss her living journey with metastatic breast cancer and how she's thriving and now educating others. Check the Student Life website for more information. That's happening 1 p.m. tomorrow, October the 14th. In-person financial aid appointments. I think while you were on vacation, Frank, the Student Life, or I should say Student Services, announced that financial aid will see people in person, but by appointment only.
Absolutely. So no walk-ins. We will post a link to book appointments on our social media right after the show.
All in for HCC, we're asking your help, faculty and staff, to help our students get through college by donating to the scholarship fund through the foundation. HCC students need our support at this time financially in order to graduate. So faculty and staff, you can sign up right now for payroll deductions. You can do it starting today. It's very easy to do. It's ongoing through November 6th. Donate at hccs.edu/all in for HCC. And it looks like, Frank, I want to skip down. We have some outdoor Wi-Fi zones because one of the things we keep hearing from students who aren't taking the lab-based courses is, I really would like to get to an area where I can get some good, dependable, free Wi-Fi. Well, we're solving that problem by allowing them to come on our campuses.
Absolutely. So parking lot Wi-Fi zones are available to connect to students on the internet, would not be able to access restrooms in the building, would not have access to outlets to charge devices. So for more information on the different zones on our campuses, go to hccs.edu/outdoor Wi-Fi.
That's right. So before we get to what's coming up tomorrow on the show, I want to cover a few things with Frank, because while Frank was on vacation, one of the things that we griped about before Frank leaving was the fact that the Texans were still had Bill O'Brien in charge. And boy, that turned into a dumpster fire. And it looks like they finally got their act together. And Bill O'Brien's no longer, or I should say he's no longer with the Texans. They told him they were going to part ways. Frank, good or bad move? What's your take?
Well, look, so first and foremost, I'm not the kind of guy that wishes for people to be fired. I mean, I know people have lives and you want to provide for your family. But at the same time, man, like, you don't want to have a product that's eroding. And sometimes you got to make a move to change things up. The man was GM and head coach. And he pretty much gave away draft picks. He mortgaged the future of the team. The Texans have the highest salary cap in the league. We have nothing to show for it. So I think it was time to make that move, to cut loose and try to rebuild. Now the problem is, for the next head coach that comes in, you don't have much to build on. Like, you have Deshaun Watson, who's an all-league, all-pro quarterback, but you have limited cap space. You don't have any first-round draft picks or second-round draft picks for next year. So it's going to be really, really tough to really build for the future. So I hope Mr. McNair, whoever he decides to bring in, he gives him a good amount of time, 3 to 4 years, to right the ship and try to get this team back on track.
Yeah, I mean, they've got some good pieces in place. Deshaun is one of the best quarterbacks in the league. He just needs to get back on his winning ways with the right coach. And, they do, even though they traded away DeAndre Hopkins, they do have a good receiver core. They brought in some decent receivers. Some of them maybe past their prime, but they've got the pieces in place to have a good offense. I'm not really sure about the running back situation. That might be a draft pick in the future that we need to get, but they've got the pieces in place to start. So it's an attractive position to come into, and just to see what happens.
Absolutely. And, and when you look at the landscape of the AFC South, I think Tennessee is undefeated. But outside of that, you have a chance. Like, they're 1-4, but with the added playoff spot in this year, now 7 teams can go to the playoffs instead of 6, or is it 8 teams? But now you have a shot to try to right the ship. Yeah. I think a couple years ago, Deshaun and the Texans started 0-3 and they made the playoffs.
Yeah, so, they reeled off 12 wins, or 11 wins after that. It was a pretty incredible year. I don't expect them to do that this year. 8-8, maybe. Yeah. That's maybe. 9-7 would be top of the deal if they made it there, but who knows if that'll happen. But we'll just have to wait and see. The Rockets, of course, they're gone. Mm-hmm. That didn't happen. I think that happened while you were on vacation. And then we've got the Astros, who are hanging on for dear life right now. They started hot. The bats are cold.
Yeah, I watched the game yesterday, and McCullers pitched great. He gave up a 3-run homer, but the offense has not been there. They're not bringing guys home. Guys are being strained and running the scoring position. I don't know what's up with this offense, man. Like, they got to get it going. 2-0 is not over, but if you go down 3-0, it's pretty much dim at this point.
Well, hold on, Astros. We've got faith in you, so let's see what happens. So, Frank, tomorrow on the show, we've got some guests. We've got Andrea Bonner. She's the chair of the Consumer Arts and Science Center of Excellence. We'll talk about how that industry has had to pivot because of COVID. And we've also got a local designer on the show.
Yes, Alan Gonzalez, the former fashion student who made it all the way to the bright lights of Project Runway and is now designing masks, so exclusively through Houston Museum of Natural Science, man. So shout out to Gonzalez, man. Can't wait to see him on the show and talk about all of his achievements and what's to come for the future for him.
Yeah, it's going to be great. He's been on our shows before. We look forward to having him tomorrow. And also our HCC Police Chief, Greg Cunningham, will be here to join us as he does every Wednesday. We hope to see you tomorrow on the show. Thanks for being here, Frank, and filling in for Brittany.
My pleasure, man. Anytime.
We look forward to seeing you tomorrow on the show live right here up to the minute at 10 a.m.